Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about hair extensions and getting hair extensions as someone who has very fine, thin hair. This is a very difficult video for me to make because, as you know, this has been a very long journey for me, but I wanted to make this video in hopes that it will reach other people who are going through the same thing, who have fine, thin hair and are considering getting hair extensions. I have just recently been through the entire process from start to finish, so from considering getting hair extensions and the different types that exist, to the emotions of getting them installed for the first time, to the upkeep of the hair extensions and washing them and styling them, to then getting them removed and what the aftermath looks like. And I wanted to wait to make this video until now so that I could give you that full picture as someone with very fine, thin hair, because if you have this, you know that you don't have a lot to lose in terms of hair. You really have to hold on to every strand because you don't have a lot of it. So it's a very big decision, and I know before I decided to get hair extensions, I did a lot of research on the internet, and I couldn't quite find a video where someone had gone through the entire thing. It's always just, come with me to get hair extensions for the first time, but you know, the aftermath of what comes, that all happens later in other future videos, and you have to wait like months to see those. So I decided, let me just give it all to you in one holistic perspective, having gone through the entire thing from start to finish. And a quick note for my subscribers, I know that this isn't my usual content, and if this isn't relevant to you, that's totally fine. We can skip to next week, but I wanted to make this video for any of the girls out there who are considering hair extensions, who have a similar hair texture, because it can be very scary. It's a big decision, and I want people to feel less alone in that decision making. So hopefully this goes out and finds you all. So what we're going to talk about in this video is choosing to get hair extensions if you have fine, thin hair, what the installation process is like, my honest review of the Upkeep, what the damage or the aftermath does look like, and then some final thoughts. And before we get started and jump into it, I want to quickly prove to you that I do have very fine, thin hair. For today's video, this is rare. I am not wearing any hair extensions, as in I'm not even wearing my clip-ins, nothing like that. You can tell this is my hair all twisted. That is as thick as it is. This isn't even the diameter of a dime. It's probably like half a dime or something like that. So yeah, I really do not have a lot of hair. And the reason I want to tell you that is because I know if you do have this type of hair, and I know from my own experience that you'll be watching these videos and women talking about this, and you'll be like, but you don't actually have that thin or fine of hair, so will my hair react differently than yours, you know, when it's all said and done? So I do want to show you that yes, I have very, very fragile, like baby fine hair. And just for reference knowledge, you know, as we're comparing kind of like hair types, my hair is genetically fine and thin, so it's actually has been this fine my entire life. It was baby fine as a baby and just never stopped being that fine, honestly. It comes, we think, from my dad's side of the family. And yeah, I've never had like a medical issue or anything where I lost a ton of hair. It's just always been like this my entire life. Alright, so choosing to get hair extensions if you have very fine, thin hair. So if you have this type of hair, you are very aware that you need to hold on to every last strand that you have. So this isn't a decision that comes light, and it's a very important one. Society's standard of hair for women is thick, luxurious. You know, at least my generation grew up with the Pantene commercials, and unfortunately, we just don't have that. We may win in other categories, but this is not one. And in fact, I'm actually done with looking at myself in the viewfinder and putting my hair up. Think about why you want the hair extensions. I felt like it would help me with confidence issues and it would make me feel unstoppable. I thought, if I have thick hair, I will be walking around every day just happy. I can put it into any hairstyle that I want and it's gonna look good, and I am going to live a fabulous, perfect life. Obviously that doesn't happen. If you're hoping that it'll solve all your problems, I'm pretty sure my experience was not unique in that, unfortunately, it won't. It might be because you have thought about this your entire life, and every day that you wake up and you say to yourself, I just need hair. It doesn't even have to be super long or thick. I just need more of it. I need something. Or maybe you feel like the hair that you were born with does not match who you are, that you feel like you are on the inside, because hair says a lot about a person. It's like the clothes that we put on. If you have this color hair, that color hair, long hair, short hair, thin hair, it says something about who you are. And if you have thin hair, your hair isn't washed that day, people assume things about you that might not necessarily be true. There are so many reasons, and chances are if you've clicked on this video, you've considered all of them and you still want to give hair extensions a try. Well, you have some options. You do have options. The type of extensions that I got were keratin bonds, or sometimes referred to as K-tips. Keratin bonds are individual strands of hair that have been bonded together, which are individually bonded to your own hair using heat on the keratin adhesive. There are also tape-ins, sew-ins, micro beads, hand-tied extensions, clip-in extensions, halos. There's plenty other videos with hair professionals who can dive further into that. This video, all I can tell you is about my own experience. And I chose keratin bonds because they were considered to be a lower damage option. The heat itself that they apply is obviously damage, because anytime that there's heat on your hair, there is damage. But in terms of the upkeep and the removal process, it is meant to be a lesser damage option than some others. It's also easier to style if you like to put your hair up in a ponytail or lots of different kind of styles, because the individual bonds move around kind of, not, I don't want to say exactly like, but similar to how your own hair does. You can put it up, put it down, put it in pigtails, well, unless you can see the bonds depending on where they place them. But it's a little bit easier, I thought, than something like tape-ins or sew-ins. The keratin bonds last 3 to 5 months. I did them for only 3 months because I was like, this is my first time doing this. I'm going to take them out at the minimum time frame so that I can make sure that the damage is not too much on my hair. But if you Google, which I'm sure you have, what type of hair extensions are best for fine, thin hair, the Google results all tell you something different. So just know that at the end of the day, whichever one you choose, a little bit of damage at least is inevitable, but it all really depends on how well you take care of them. Just make sure that you go to a trained professional who knows how to apply them properly. And if you are someone with fine, thin hair, make sure that you are going to like the best person there, because as I said, you know, it's more of a risk for us, okay, than someone who has thick hair who just wants some length. We have a lot more to lose. And listen to what they say about the upkeep and take care of them well. They will tell you like how to brush them. If they don't, ask them like, what shampoo and conditioner should I use? Do you sell it here? Can I buy it? What type of brush should I use? How should I wear them when I'm going to bed? Things like that. And they should be able to tell you that. Usually you can do a consultation first. If you guys want to know where I went in New York, I liked them and I really liked the guy who installed them for me. I can put that info in the description box, but chances are, you know, there's great places all over the place. You usually do a free consultation first. So you can do a free consultation here, see what they tell you, go to a free consultation there, see what they tell you. Just like compare and then make your decision. Alright, so let's talk about the installation process. So I had a journey finding the right hair extensions place. Long story short, I thought I had found the perfect place, and they were very, very expensive, but they were like the top place. I live in New York City, and I was like, this is the top of the top, I'm going here. But it was expensive, so I saved my money for an entire year after my consultation, and I came back a year later and I said, okay, I'm ready, let's do it. And they said, I don't do extensions anymore, I only do wigs. Do you want a wig? And when I tell you that my heart was so broken, because it had taken me so much to even build myself up to that point, and then to get shot down, I definitely cried. I left that appointment and I cried. I left and I walked out and I was very upset. But anyways, so I ended up finding somehow this place called Luxe Aura hair extensions here in New York, and they were a lot more affordable of a price. So I thought, okay, you know, this could definitely be done. The consultation made sense to me. They looked at my hair, they kind of pulled it apart, looked at everything, and they said, we can do this if you want. So I showed up very like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed on a spring morning in June. I walked there from my apartment. I had all the butterflies and the nerves fluttering through me. I sat in the chair. I asked so many questions as I was sitting there, politely of course, just, you know, for knowledge, because I was like, this is my first time doing this. I just want to make sure that I upkeep them right and then I have the least damage possible. And I sat there. It didn't take that long. It was maybe only an hour and a half, and I just watched the guy sizzle each piece into my head. But yeah, I actually came prepared with a list of questions on my phone, and I asked them as I went. What about damage? What about upkeep? What about removal? And they very calmly assured me, it'll all be okay, you're good. So I went home. I had this big bouncy hair. I truly could not believe my eyes as I was walking down the street. In my head, I was just like, whoa, I cannot believe that this is my hair now. I felt like it looked amazing. It was an instant confidence boost. It was a total high, really. It was just like very fun and exciting to finally have hair. And I remember when I came home, I was supposed to meet Lyle, and I said, you know what, I need a moment. I need to go home by myself. I just need a moment by myself. And I remember I went in the bathroom, because our bathroom has these trifold mirrors where I can see the sides and the back of my hair more easily, and I just took a quiet couple minutes to myself. Okay guys, I'm home. I have hair. I'm feeling all the emotions. It's looking at it and just holding it. What if I did pigtails? What if I did a ponytail? What if I did this? And just seeing actually what it looked like from all angles and taking it all in. And then life started happening, and I felt like every work meeting that I went to, I actually felt like, okay, I look like I have good hair, like I look like I tried and I have my hair done for this meeting. I went to bar classes and I didn't feel like I had the thinnest little ponytail just dangling around. I actually, you know, had some oomph to it. I went to dinners. I went on vacation to Europe, and I felt like I, you know, just had this beautiful hair. I truly, like, I loved it. Alright, now moving on to upkeep. So with all that being said, you do obviously have to take care of your hair. So it's important to know, and I'm sure you want to know, what is it like showering with hair extensions in, like washing your hair, going to bed at night, brushing it, and just styling it around the bonds. So the thing I want to tell you is that I'm not going to lie, the first 2 to 3 weeks, it is painful sleeping on them at night. So I've slept on the hair, and I have to be honest that it was uncomfortable. I don't know if that's how it's going to be forever, for these whole next 3 months. I honestly feel like I want to like take them out, but I'm gonna try to stick through it. I didn't get a very good night's sleep last night. 2 to 3 weeks. But like, if you are someone who really wants the extensions because you have fine thin hair, you're probably okay with that. I know I was, at least. It's not that bad, like you can't fall asleep or anything, but it's just a little bit of a pain where you're like, whoa, there's something on my head for sure. When you lay down on your pillow like this, you can feel them, and I guess they kind of like, I don't know, you can just feel them. Like where the bonds are, I know it's not beads, but like where the bonds are is kind of hard. And so when you lay down on that, it like presses into your scalp. And everyone might be different. I have a sensitive scalp, so maybe it was painful for me for longer, or it was more painful. Might not even be the case for some people, but it definitely takes some getting used to regardless. However, you know that you're going to have the extensions for so many months, and this pain in the beginning is just a little bit, it's just temporary as your head gets used to it. Just know, if you do get the extensions in, that it's not going to feel like that the whole time. It is going to go away. And at night, they told me to simply put your hair in a braid. I basically just did it on the side, like this, all the way down, and then I tied it at the end with this silk scrunchie. So I just slept like this. What I did every night was made sure that my hair is dry, so if I showered at night, I had to blow dry it, because you cannot go to bed with wet hair with hair extensions. It will completely damage your hair. So you just need to braid it. I just did like a side braid, tied it, and went to bed. And then styling it, you can of course straighten it, curl it, just like you would your normal hair. You just can't get your straightener or your curling iron too close to the bond, because obviously it is activated by the heat, so you could risk accidentally pulling one of your hair extensions out. And just use the shampoo and conditioner that they tell you to use. Now let's talk about the removal of the extensions and any damage. Alright, so we've lived in the extensions, we've loved them, we've taken good care of them, but now it's time to take them out. It's like Cinderella turning into a like her stuff turning back into a pumpkin and everything once the clock strikes midnight. The way that they took my keratin bonds out was interesting. It wasn't as I thought they were going to. I thought that they were going to reheat them again and just pull them out. But what they did was they like squished them with pliers and then just pulled them out. And then sometimes they sprayed it with water and then squished them with pliers and pulled them out. Every person's experience with this is going to be different. So I don't want to take what I say as this is going to happen to you, because maybe it's not. Maybe, you know, hair's different, upkeep was different, the damage is going to be different, it's all going to be different. What happened for me was that when the extensions first came out, I saw them all on the floor, and there was pieces of my own hair in there. But what was strange was the fact that when I actually lifted up layers of my hair and sifted through, there were no bald spots. It wasn't like, oh, a chunk of your hair came out here. However, I knew that my hair was thinner after than it was before. And I looked at them and I was like, look, I know I'm, you know, very typical, like, girl comes in and thinks that her hair is so thin after she gets the extensions out because she doesn't remember how thin it used to be in the first place. But no, my hair was definitely thinner after than it was before. I thought in my head my hair is half as thin as it was before, and it was already thin before in the first place. Now that it's been a couple months since I've gotten them removed, I don't know if that's exactly true, if it was half as thin. I think it was just a very emotional day. Some tears were definitely shed. They were very kind about it, actually. They gave me some tips. He gave me a free wash and he put a protein conditioner in it. So my whole thing going forward now is that I'm just working on repairing my hair before I decide to get extensions again in the future. So in doing so, I got a protein conditioner because the protein is going to stop the, you know, the damage. And the only thing with a protein conditioner or leave-in, any type of protein product, is that you cannot use it too much, because too much protein can actually be a bad thing. So he said use this protein conditioner like twice a week, but no more than that. We think what he told me, what my hairstylist, my regular hairstylist told me, and what I think probably is true, is that the damage really didn't necessarily come from the hair extensions being removed. It came from the fact that when I was curling it and styling it, I held the curler on my hair for much longer than I would if it was just my hair without hair extensions in it, because the hair extensions are obviously a different texture and they take a lot longer to curl. So I held my curling iron on there for like 20 seconds, which usually my own hair would take only 5 seconds to curl, and any longer than that would totally be frying it off. So because I wanted it obviously all to blend in together, I would take a piece of my own hair and take a piece of the extension together and wrap that in, and that's what we think caused the damage, was that because I had pieces that were shorter, and so it's like the damage was coming from the bottom kind of sizzling up versus coming from the scalp. So, you know, truly, like, and this is part of the reason why I want to make this video, is because I take this learning from me and don't do that same thing. And, you know, I don't want to say this for sure, but I want to be an optimist about it and say that if you do get hair extensions having this fine thin hair type, that it really just comes down to the upkeep. And yes, you are obviously going to want to style it, but you know, looking back, maybe what if I had separated my own hair and the extensions, and I curled my own hair and then I just curled the extensions separately? Like, it would have taken a lot longer, but it could have been done. And also, I will say that there were a lot of times, especially I think the culprit was when I was away for 3 weeks in Europe this summer, and there were nights where I showered, and blow drying my hair with the extensions in took like 45 minutes to an hour if I wanted it to be fully dry. And there were just times when I did not have that patience, and I blow dried it but not fully, and I went to bed with the wet hair, which definitely can cause damage. So I think that it really just does come down to the upkeep. And you know, I think a little bit of your hair is going to come out too when you get the extensions removed, but that's a big part of that too, is also just the natural shedding that you would have had that didn't come out because the hair was bonded to the extension. So, you know, that's part of it too. All right, now finally we come to the chapter where we just talk about the aftermath. So if you do get the extensions and you do have some damage, or your hair is thinner than it was before, you could right away say, oh gosh, let me put more extensions in right away. And then you kind of fall into a pattern, you get addicted to having these extensions in, which obviously could be really damaging to your hair long term. What I've decided is that I'm going to give my hair a break. I'm going to do hair masks. I'm going to style it less. I'm going to use my protein conditioner. Anything I can do to repair it. I made an appointment with my regular stylist, not my extensions place, and I went into him and we cut so many inches off. Like, my hair is super short now, as you saw, and he did some treatments. So like not even just your at-home treatments, like professional grade treatments. I also do have a set of clip-in hair extensions. So those are a lot less damaging because you don't wear them at night. You don't have to, you know, wear them while you're styling them, etc., etc. It really is a good option for hair like this. But I brought those in to him as well, and he cut them short to align with my new short hair, so I would feel some confidence that if I do want to wear my hair down, it's not just going to look like I did at the beginning of the video. It's going to look more styled and just a lot nicer and thicker. And since then, I've gotten so many compliments on my hair. I've gotten DMs and like comments from you guys saying, I love your hair this shorter length. And you know, this is where things kind of come full circle for me, because when I was younger, like a kid, that was my hair length. It was always short like that. And I've always felt like, as someone with you know, this type of hair, and just, I guess with sort of the rest of my features, a shorter length looks better than on me than a longer length has, and all of my friends and family have told me that too. And I think if you're someone who has never had long hair, you're probably like me, where you're like, yeah, I just need to do it. I just need to know what it feels like. So, you know, for that, you kind of just have to go through this experience yourself. You know, it's one of those things that, like, you can't just take people's word. You got to go through it yourself. And having gone through it, I actually think that if I do ever get extensions in the future, I'm gonna get shorter ones, because I think that that is just truly me, having that short kind of hair where I'm like, yeah, that's just who I am. I'm this short little blonde haired girl. That's my look, that's my style. And I think I appreciate this whole process for making me come back to that and realize, like, I don't need to try to be someone else. Like, that is me, that is who I am, and it's truly special, and I really love it. At the end of the day, I'm really happy with the way that things turned out. Yes, it sucks that I don't have thick hair, but I didn't before and I didn't after. So either way, we just have to accept that that's how life is. That's the card that we've been dealt, and see the beautiful side in it. You know, my biggest thing right now is that I am getting married in May, so it's like 6 months away or 7 months away or something. I just want to make sure that my hair looks good for that, so I'm kind of trying to figure out what my next step is in that realm. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll just do some clip-ins for that day and just sort of try to take care of my hair as much as possible in the next couple months. So if you see me on videos and my hair isn't straightened or curled, just know that, like, it's not that I didn't try that day, it's that I am just trying to repair it and to take care of it as much as possible. But my final thoughts are that I don't want anybody to be afraid of getting hair extensions. If this is something that you've considered, I think go for it. I think, in my opinion, that this is a journey that every woman with fine thin hair has to go on themselves from start to finish. In my experience, at least, there were a lot of highs and a lot of lows, but it's one that I wouldn't take back. So if you're considering it, I hope that hearing it from the perspective of someone that has the same hair helps. And if you're someone that has this kind of hair and has any other feedback or tips, please let me know. Let's knowledge share, because it can be kind of hard to rare to find people with the same hair. And if you got any knowledge, well, let's share it. Let's help each other out. And I'm continuing to learn and evolve as much as I can. I hope that you get the type of hair that you've always wanted to too. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. This was a video that I wanted to make for so long, so I really appreciate your patience in me getting it live. I just needed to collect all my thoughts. It really started out as like me going on an entire rant about having fine thin hair, so I kind of consolidated into this, but there is just so much more I have that I could talk about this. So if you guys want to know more, and if this does reach the girls who have the same hair, please leave any thoughts or questions in the comments below. I really just want us to help each other out. And yeah, that's it. So subscribe for more videos, especially, you know, if we want to have chats about this stuff. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.